Well, hello calculator people, and welcome back to math class. We are in week 3, and this is assignment number 1, find the slope of a graph. Alright, when you are finding the slope of a graph, you are finding the rise over the run. Alright, my 8th graders may remember this because we went over this a little before we went on break. We were talking about slopes and graphs and finding the equation of the line. We did slope for a few weeks on that. The first thing you need to do in order to find your slope is you are going to find 2 points where your x and your y cross. So here is your line, and right here, your x and your y cross nicely. And let me erase the weird line. There we go. And then when we continue up your graph and your line, there is another crossover right there. So what was our rise? Our rise, remember, is your elevator ride up, calculator people. My 8th graders will remember that. So we are going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4. We rose 4. Okay, we went 4 floors up, and we ran across 1 door. All right, now what if you wanted to run first? Well, you could have done that. I had some people who wanted to run first. You ran once, all right, but remember, running goes on the bottom. And you rise 1, 2, 3, 4. But remember, you read these from top down, rise over run, all right? And since your line has an upward slope, which means your x's and your y's both are getting larger, as you can see, then your slope is positive. So you would have a positive number here, which is 4 over 1. And when you simplify 4 over 1, well, 4 divided by 1 is 4. 4 divided by 1 is 4. So you would answer 4. So let's do that again. Let me show that to you one more time. We are doing rise over run. Okay, so we have our starting point here, and we have our ending point here. And I can't get this silly graph to sit still. So we have our ending point right there. All right. Now you are going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, you rise up floors in your elevator, and you run across 1 door. So we rise 4. We rise up 4 elevator floors, and we ran once across 1 door. And 4 divided by 1 is 4. All right. So say you don't like that method. All right. You don't have to like that method. You can label those 2 points. That works. Okay. So point 1, this was 30. That's your x, and 20. So you would write that 30, 20. Okay. Talk about that as your starting point. All right. And where do you end up? Alrighty. Well, let's see. We go along this line, and we're going to our second point is right there. And that is 40, 60. All right. So we're going to end up at 40 and 60. And we know that rise over run is simply the change of y and the triangle. If you watch the Khan Academy video, it's just the symbol for the word change. So we have the change of y over the change of x, which is rise over run. So if these are my x's and these are my y's. All right, well, if we start at 20 and we end up at 60, what was my change? What did I have to do to 20 to get to 60? Well, I had to add 40. Oops, that's a wayward line. Let's try that again. I had to add 40, all right? And if I start, these are now my x's, if I start at 30 and I end at 40, what did I have to do to 30 to get to 40? Well, I had to add 10. So we're going to add 10, and that's our change in x. And now you simplify it. Well, 40 divides nicely by 10. 40 divided by 10 is 4. All right, there's a second way of doing it. What if you really took to that formula that we did in class? Some of you really, really hated the formula, but some of you loved the formula. You were all over that formula, and you rocked it. So let me show you that way as well. All right, so we know slope. Slope is rise over run, or the change in y over the change of x. So mathematically, what are you doing? You have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I know many of my 8th graders have nightmare about this formula. Some of you really hate it. Don't use it if you really hate it. All right, your points again. We had this point here. All right, let's try that one more time. Let's see, we had point 1 here, and point 2 is here. All right, we said point 1 was 30, 20. All right, so 30, 20, right? All right, that was point 1. That is your x1 and your y1. All right. Now point 2. Point 2, we have 40 and we have 60. All right, so our x is 40 and our y is 60. All right, so that is x2 and y2. Now you fill in your formula. Your y2. Well, your y2 is 60. Okay. Well, what is the y1? Your y1 is 20. Okay. Your x2, that's 40. And your x1, well, there's that 30. Alrighty. 60 minus 20 is 40. 40 minus 30 is 10. Alright. And 40 divided by 10 is, well, that's 4 again. Alright, so you would put in 4 and hit submit. So which way do you like? You get to choose. Give it a shot. See which method you like the best. Let me know if it helps. Anyway, till next time. Talk to you later, calculator people. Bye.